And often what you give you some quick background there spiritually, when the Bible metaphorically speaks about powerful people or strong people, sometimes it makes the reference to trees. And this reading only makes sense if you understand that when the Bible is talking about trees, empires, groups of people, that reference is trees. You may be saying, when I read this in just a moment, why is the Bible talking about trees? Why is Ezekiel talking about trees? When he's talking about trees, he's actually talking about groups of individuals, nations, empires. That said, let me read it. Ezekiel chapter 17, verse 24. And all the trees of the field. Now, when he says all the trees of the field, he's talking about all the nations of the world, all the peoples of the world, all the ethnic groups of the world. And all the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree. Who's the high tree? The people who are reigning, the people who are dominating, the people who are ruling the world right now, the people who have all the money, the people who have all the resources, the people who have all the comfort. Those are the high trees. That I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree and have exalted the low tree. What is God doing in us, among us right now? He is exalting us. Why? Because we're the low tree, relatively speaking, in the sense that we've been speaking about it before, in the sense that we've been oppressed, in the sense that we came here as slaves, and then we were in segregation, and then we were in Jim Crow, and then there was convict leasing, and there were various different schemes, and then there was the criminalization of everything that is Black. And then there was the war on crime, which was really the war on Black people. And then there was 10/20 life, and you had Black people going to prison for 30 years for having a piece of crack cocaine in their pocket, and so on and so forth. We are the low tree. But the word of the Lord, and literally is the word of the Lord, because he spoke to me about this morning, that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree and have exalted the low tree, and have dried up the green tree and have made the dry tree to flourish. Who's the dry tree? Us. What's happening, what's getting ready to happen in a way that we can't even begin to imagine, is that God is going to pour down the rivers and the waters from heaven upon us. And he's going to cause the dry tree, which metaphorically speaking is our state and our condition in the world. And he's going to cause it meaning us, to flourish. I, the Lord, have spoken and have done it. This is what God is doing in our community. This is what God is embarking upon. And this is what Satan, the devil, Diablos, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, is trying to block. He's trying to block the work that God is doing and is going to get done in its entirety in our community. He's going to exalt our tree from low to high. He's going to change the nature of our tree from dry to a flourishing tree. And the green trees that have vaunted themselves against God, and the high trees that have thought that they were above the need to rely and depend upon God, are going to be brought low. That's the God that we serve. Really, in one sense, doesn't have anything to do with us. It's all about God's divine initiative. I'm saying that I want to make sure it's clear to you. You can't go around saying we got it like that. No, we're in a position where we're the low tree, and God likes to take that thing which is despised and rejected and make it into something glorious and marvelous. Friends, I'm speaking to you individually, but more importantly, I'm speaking to you collectively as a group, because this is the mission and this is the task that God has given me, to speak to us as a group, Black people. Does God care about all people? Yes. Jesus loved all the children of the world, red, yellow, black, and white, but God has specific detailed plans for specific groups. For example, God chose Peter to be the apostle to the Jews, and he chose Paul to be the apostle to the Gentiles. God works with specificity. He doesn't broad brush and shotgun things. He works with specificity. And God has a specific plan to bring us out of the valley, to exalt our tree. Satan is trying to obstruct it.